Almost there. You've been pushing and grinding and working, scratching and clawing, trying to get there. You're almost there. But the one thing that you cannot do, the one thing that you can do, you cannot stop.
If you don't quit, you can't lose.
I had somebody tell me that they said, Phillip, listen, I'm working my way and I'm getting there. I said, well, what was the problem? They said, well, when I was there, I quit. I gave up. I fainted. I said, well, how did you do that? They said, I ran out of energy. And I said, there is no way that you can run out of energy. Not in this race, not in this course. See, you got to understand that the race that you're running right now, this is not a sprint. You don't have to get there right now. You don't have to blink your eyes and be there. The race that you're running right now, this is a marathon. That means it's a long distance race. Listen, the difference between a sprint and a marathon is the way that you run. Hear me again. The difference between a sprint and a marathon is the way that you run your race. What does that mean? That means sometimes you gotta pace yourself. That means sometimes when you're running, you gotta be able to think something bigger. You gotta be able to see something larger. You gotta be able to see in the future. You gotta run at a certain pace. Did you hear what I said? You gotta run at a certain pace. You can't try to go out there and be all fast all the time.
If you don't quit, you can't lose. If you don't quit, you can't lose. If you don't quit, you can't lose. You can't lose. You can't lose. If you don't quit, you can't lose. If you don't quit, you can't lose. If you don't quit, you can't lose. You can't lose. You can't lose.
Eventually, you will get there. But you can't give up. Why can't you give up? Because you're almost there. Why am I almost there? Because I put 1 plus 1 and it equal 2. And then 2 plus 2 that equaled 4. And then 4 plus 4 that equaled 8. And then when I added them all together, that got me to my destination place. But the thing that you can't do is stop. Why can't you stop saying with me? Because
if you don't quit, you can't lose.
around the corner is a destination point. Just 1 more meter, that's all you gotta go. Just 100 more yards and you're gonna get there. If you don't give up, if you don't stop, if you don't faint right now, keep on pushing, keep on stepping, keep on stepping, keep on stepping, keep on stepping. Listen, you're there, you're there, you're there, you're there. Come on, come on. Don't quit, don't faint, don't give up. If you don't quit, you can't lose. If you don't quit, you can't lose.
If you don't quit, you can't lose. If you don't quit, you can't lose. If you don't quit, you can't lose. You can't lose. You can't lose.
Edge life, you're too close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that edge life. Oh, oh, gotta get it in your head, baby. Welcome to the edge life. You're too close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that edge life. Oh, oh, gotta get it in your head. Welcome to the edge life.
What is going on, good people? We made it back. We made it back. Welcome to the Edge Life Season 2, episode number 2.
2.
Man, we are so excited to be here.
On
Valentine's Day, right?
And we're going to be talking about some good stuff today.
What are we talking about? What are we talking?
Languages of love and or appreciation. They're so powerful. Hey, this is key.
Yeah.
I promise you. This is going to open up so many doors of opportunity for you to really connect and to see some change for the good in your relationships, in your organization, and your home.
And the cool thing about this is, listen, these are tools that you can use, like you said, you can use them in your home, but you can also use them wherever you go, like in work and things like that. You know why? Because we're in the people business. And one thing that we have to remember is that we are in the people business no matter where we go. We're in the people business. So if you deal with people tonight, this session right now is going to be monumental for you.
That's right. It is all about relationships. The key to living a fulfilled life is all about relationships. So
Absolutely.
we're going to give you, like, we always give you the good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we're going to give you something that's just going to be really eye-opening today.
I love it. Speaking of the goods, do us a quick favor. If you are watching this live, make sure you go ahead and share this out. There may be someone who needs to hear this today. I guarantee there are some people who need to hear it. Mm-hmm. But also, if you're watching this via the replay, in the comment section, go ahead and type replay so we can connect with you. We want to make sure that we're able to answer any questions that you have, and just know that you're checking out all the good content that we're dropping on you.
Absolutely. And if you're brave enough, I always challenge you, DM this to somebody who needs it.
That's right.
Or copy the link if you're watching or you're listening on podcast, and text it to somebody.
Yeah. Do it slick. So that way they're like, oh yeah, this is good. This is good. What's going on, Latasha Martin? We see that you are watching us in Buffalo, where it's a little chilly, I know. I see Mama Edge over there. What's going on, Mama?
Donna
What's going
Adams,
on? What's
Mary
going on?
Catherine, welcome. And Shannon Myers.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome, and welcome once again. So, hey, listen, before we jump into this thing, I just want to talk. So how was your day and your week? You know, we got to get caught up.
My day was awesome.
Yeah.
So my husband bought me something, kind of, I like sentimental things. I like symbolic things.
Yeah.
I'm not a real big tangible kind of gal. I don't have to have, diamonds and pearls. But we got this cast, this molding cast, basically, where we held hands and we put our hands down inside of there. He was a little bit worried about having to stand for 9 minutes.
Hey, my back was hurting and everything. Oh, yeah, I do got a video. There is a video.
Once we get the final product. But it was really cool. So we'll have an actual mold of us holding hands together. So thank you for that. Very meaningful gift. That was super, super awesome.
That was awesome. I'm glad you liked it. After you have been together, as long as we've been together, it's kind of hard to come up with creative things. But I had to channel my inner you and say, what's something that she would like, and I'm glad you did.
Yeah, just I like meaningful stuff. How about you? How was your day today?
Well, the day was awesome. And anytime I can spend just a few extra moments with you, it's good. It's funny, sometimes we'll just be in the car when we won't even be saying anything, but it's the presence. And I think that for me is the most important thing, just being able to have the presence and being beside you and being able to hold your hand, or being able to look at you, or being able to see, a little photo that you sent me where you're smiling at me. I mean those just little.
It was an appropriate photo.
Those little things, you know what I'm saying, are I think huge, especially for married couples. I've heard it said a long time ago, the same things that you did to get the individual are the same things that you need to do to continue to keep that individual. So you gotta continue to enjoy each other's company, and I was just enjoying your company today, so that was good.
Oh, well, thank you. I enjoy your company too all the time.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
So look, let's jump into this thing today because Gary Chapman.
Talk that talk.
Wrote a book a while ago called The 5 Love Languages, right?
Yes.
And The 5 Love Languages has been that has been a staple. I know for us, anytime we do marriage counseling, The 5 Love Languages is one of the books that we're like, no, you need to get this book. Like, you need to get the book, right? So Gary Chapman wrote this book, and inside of the book, it talks about 5 different languages that you and your spouse speak, right? Mm-hmm. And there are different levels of the languages that you speak. And I'll never forget the first time that I read the book. I was really thinking about like my grandmother, right? Mm. And I was talking about my grandmother and how my grandmother, even though we both speak English, there are things that I can say to my grandmother that she does not understand, right? And vice versa. Mm-hmm. So I'll never forget one time I was with my grandmother and something was happening, and I was like, "Ooh, that's hot." And my grandma was like, "Huh?" I said, "Ooh, that's hot." And she said, "Well, if it's hot, don't touch it." But what she didn't understand is that I wasn't talking about like hot to the touch. I was talking about like, oh, that was cool. Oh, that was that was nice. Yeah, hot with the 2 T's, right? So that's what I was talking about. My point in saying this quick little story is there can be times that you're talking to people right in front of you. You're saying the right thing, but it's received in the wrong way. right?
Yeah.
You're saying the right thing, so you think, but they're not necessarily receiving it in the way that you think that they receive it. So there's this miss in translation. And many times when we're dealing with people, especially when we're talking about relationships and communicating in relationships, there are these misses that happen in communication because, you know what, somebody thinks that they're doing good, and the other person's like, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, and the thing that we have to understand is that most communication doesn't happen through words.
Right.
It happens through actions and our behaviors. And so we have to be really in tune to those and what we're actually speaking. And so tonight we're going to talk about something that I know for us was very eye-opening. I don't know when we discovered the book, but there's actually one also for children. And then they've kind of reworked it to be appreciation in the workplace, using these same love languages, but making them workplace appropriate. And so I really think that these 3 different books are definitely eye-opening. They were for me, and they helped me to realize that I interpret sometimes, but I also deliver, or I don't code properly the love and appreciation that I'm trying to show to people because I do it in the way that I prefer it. And I think that was the eye-opening thing for me is that, you know, many times I wasn't necessarily like feeling love or appreciation from either in a workplace or, you know, even sometimes at home because people were speaking the language they prefer.
Yeah.
The thing that they are comfortable for. And so unless you have an awareness, and you have to be very intentional, because we are always going to go back
to what we know. That's right.
And what works for us.
That's
and
right.
What we're comfortable with. And so I just challenge you all today, like, think about your significant relationships, or think about your workplace, and think about the people that you're in relationship with. And think, how can I, you know, just in the things that you know about them, how can I love them or show them appreciation a little bit different than the way I prefer?
Yeah.
Like, challenge yourself. Like, step outside of your comfort zone and stop. We just, so many times we're like just on autopilot. And we have to break that autopilot. Don't be an autopilot in your relationship. There's so much more to it if you're intentional about what you want to get out of it. So you got to get off autopilot.
You said something that I think is extremely important, because you talked about your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And a lot of times with the languages that we speak, these are things that we are comfortable in, right? Because it's what we do naturally.
Right.
So if you're not intentional, many times it's difficult to get outside of that comfort zone, because that's what you do naturally. So again, even as we break these things down for you today, I'm not going to sit here and say I've perfected all of these things, because I have not perfected all of these things. However,
that's one of the beauties.
It is, but I'm intentional, and I'm trying to be intentional, and we'll give you examples of this as we go throughout the day.
Yeah, and before we get started, I just want to say this: those of you who have a relationship with God, what if He came at you the way that He wanted to be received?
Ooh.
You know, instead of coming to you in a way that you would understand.
Yeah.
I mean, even though God loves everyone, He is very intentional, like just specifically to speak to you in ways that you will understand and love you in the way that you need to be loved.
That is so good.
I have to look to my Father, and I have to look to the way that He loves and shows us these love languages at work and the way that He operates in our lives. And many times our eyes are more open to see when it's how we want to be loved. So just keep that in mind. Like, if you really want to receive something from someone, be mindful that they're going to see what they're looking for, that comfort level from them as well.
That's good. People are always going to see what they're looking for.
They're going to see what they love.
Somebody need to write that one down already. We ain't even got started
yet. So we're
going
to show you what they're looking for. I mean, it's really simple to pretty much figure it out if you know someone well enough. Yep. And, you know, there are tests out there that you can take, little quiz that you can take really quick. So if you're a supervisor, you know, you can just search for the 5 love languages and you can have them take that.
Absolutely. So are we ready to jump into this?
Yeah, let's jump in.
And listen, I will say this. Make sure you have a pencil or pen or something like that, so you can you can jot some notes down, because I do believe this could be an eye-opening moment for you. So we're gonna get this thing going. And the first one that we're gonna talk about are words of affirmation, and we want to make sure that we're using words to affirm people, right? To lift people up, to build people up. The truth of the matter is, we ain't trying to tear people down. No. And our mouths can do that, whether it's in the workplace or whether, it's at home, right? We got to be careful about the things that we say. And literally, since good and bad can spew from out of our mouth, we have to really ask ourselves, like, what are we saying? Mm-hmm. Are we saying things that are lifting people up? Are we giving side comments? Like you know what I'm talking about, like, right? You in there and people get real slick with their mouth, right? Mm-hmm. So are you giving the little slick comments because, for whatever reason you're hurt on the inside, as opposed to having a real conversation? Or are you saying things that are affirming and lifting people up? What I've realized is that when we say things and we affirm people, it not only lifts them up and lifts their spirits up, but they then reciprocate that very same thing back to you.
You get back in return what you give.
Yeah.
And, we have to be so careful. I mean, you're going to have to fix your mind and maybe even change the way you think. Some of us just automatically do this, again, because it's probably one of your top languages of love or appreciation, that you look to see the good and you're always affirming, like always just, something really terrible could happen and you have the ability to see the good in it.
Yeah.
And you speak that thing. When you see the good, affirm the good. Like, it's not that we ignore the negative things, right?
Right.
But we're just affirming the good, because the more we affirm what we want, the more likely we are to get that in return.
Absolutely.
It comes back to us. Like you said, it's like a boomerang effect.
Yeah. And I've heard it said before, to utilize the individual bank account, to where as you're affirming people, you're really making deposits. And you're making deposits and you're making deposits. Therefore, when you do need to have that tougher conversation with an individual, you got something in the bank. You know what I'm saying? So they know that you have their best interest at heart. They know that you're not just coming to them just being slick. They really genuinely know that you're in this to help them out. But you can do that when you have things in the bank.
Right.
If you don't have anything in the bank, right? You don't have any deposits and you just want to come at somebody sideways, people are looking at you, and the first thing that they're gonna say is, you don't know me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know me.
Well,
I don't know who you think you are.
And if this is a critical conversation or a courageous conversation that you have, they're not going to listen to you if you haven't been affirming. Like, if you can't see the good in me, I don't even really know why we're in a relationship.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because, in a marriage, you lend your strengths to cover my weaknesses. So obviously that I have some weaknesses, but if you can't ever see the good in me, what really is the point in us even being together?
Right.
If I'm not adding anything of value,
right,
to the relationship, and you're not, everything you say to me is negative, that makes me feel like this is not where I'm supposed to be, because you can't even see anything good in me. So definitely make deposits. We're not discouraging you from having the critical conversations, but what we're saying is, be more about affirming. Like,
Absolutely.
Always search for the good. Because I'm going to tell you, if you dig for dirt, you're going to find it.
You're going to find it.
I
Absolutely.
mean, none of us are perfect.
Right.
Whatever you dig for, whatever you search for, either in your mind, either real or perceived, I promise you, it will be like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You will find what you're looking for. Again, we seek what we're looking for.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's true in this case too.
Yep. And the interesting thing about these love languages, or these languages of affirmation, is there are people that you work with right now. There are people that you are in relationship right now that they respond to words of affirmation.
Yes.
Literally, if you want to get the best out of them, you start providing some words of affirmation, start saying some encouraging things, start lifting them up, and they will respond to into that. Literally,
Yes.
and again, we said this is their language. So as you talk about, we're listening for those things and we'll find them. This is so true for this particular individual because they literally they need that, right?
Yes.
They need to have those words of affirmation, and when they get those words of affirmation, they will then respond.
Absolutely. And that's why you have to be so careful, because people whose number one love language or appreciation language in the workplace is words of affirmation, they literally pick apart everything that you say, and sometimes have a tendency even to read into it. So again, if there's nothing in the bank, if there's not a history to fall back on of you affirming them, of you saying meaningful words that I believe in you, that I trust you, all of those sorts of things that are important in relationships, then they're going to default to have a critical mindset because they feel like the words that you have that are coming towards them are critical. So people who this is their number one love language are very, very sensitive, maybe even hypersensitive to critical words. So if you do take the quiz, or you recognize this, you have to be so very delicate with what you're saying to an individual who this is their number one. This is actually my number two. I do need to be affirmed with words, and I also recognize that it's a part of my self-love. And many times I'm not very kind to myself, and I tear myself down with words. Even though I need it, the enemy also knows it's like my kryptonite. So I can be very very quick to use words to tear apart things too, because I'm so sensitive to them. They're very powerful to me. I recognize the power in words. So people with this as their number one, they recognize the power in words. So wordsmiths. Yeah. And you said something that I think is very key. Many times our biggest strength is also can be that biggest area of opportunity or growth for us, right? So we need to be very conscious and cognizant of that. Yeah. And that's sometimes why we need it more, you know? We need it more. Yep.
Number two. Let's do it.
Jump
Let's
right
do it.
into number two.
Number two, acts of service. Acts of service. Talk about it. Acts of service.
So, or acts of kindness, either way. So it depends on if it's the workplace or the home. For me, this is my number one.
That's why I said talk about it.
Yeah. So we opened up with saying that I don't need like tangible gifts. I like gifts. But when people like do things just out of the kindness of their heart, or they just serve, that is so meaningful to me. So like somebody to just like, I don't know, like take the trash out in the bathroom, that does it for me. I mean, I'm a simple gal. Like it's not that complicated for me, unless I'm around people that's down at the bottom of their list, like they're not really thinking about that. But I operate in life as a servant. Like I look at myself as a servant leader. And so for me, it was really easy, even without taking the quiz, like, oh, I know which one is my number one. It's just people doing things not because they're told to. So actually, that is a big irritant for me, because I look to other people to be servants. And to act in kindness. And so that can be my downfall too. So if this is your number one, whether it's in the workplace or it's at home, you have to be very clear about the type of service or the acts that you need, because you can't just infer. Because when you make an assumption, well, anyways. So, and I have a tendency to... I've gotten better as I've gotten more mature and understand myself and how I receive love and, and that sort of thing. But you can't just think that people know that's the kind of act of service that you want. You have to express it. And that goes really for all of these. Like you have to say, I need you to affirm me with words. I appreciate acts of kindness. And sometimes I just have to say, hey, can you do this for me? See, part of... the beauty of this particular one is that you don't really want to have to ask somebody to do it. You just want them to do it. But sometimes you have to understand, like, they're not mind readers. You just have to say what you want. And be okay with having to say that's what you want when it when it happens.
Yeah, it's really cool with this one because I've recognized over the years that this is your primary love language.
Yeah.
So it's cool for me because now I look for like things that I can do that I know will speak to your language. Whether it's something simple like Saturday she went out and she had coffee with one of her friends. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and fold the laundry.
Yes.
Now y'all know I don't like folding the laundry. I mean
none of us do.
I don't like folding the laundry. But because I know that that's her love language and I know that's something that she would really appreciate. I said, okay, let me get this laundry out. I turned on my music, and Saturday morning, me and Kyra out there folding the clothes and took them, sat them on her bed. So when she got home, that's something that she didn't have to do.
Yeah,
because because you got so many things going on.
It made me feel loved. It made me feel appreciated. It made me feel loved because it's something that I normally do, and he took the initiative to just do it. And one of the other things, like now, because we've been together for 29 years, 20 years married, soon to be 21, I look for, here's like the light turned on. So I look for him to love me in service in ways that he likes. So for example, Phillip will wash my car. That's an act of service for me.
Yeah.
But it has his flavor on it.
Yeah.
Because though I don't want to drive around in a dirty car, it would not necessarily be the thing on the top of my list. But I intentionally look for it. And then I use affirming words to reinforce. I'm giving him like all the...
She give me the secret sauce right now. I need to take notes.
So I give him affirming words to tell him how much I appreciate it, because I do. But I look specifically because I know he knows that's my love language. Yeah. But he still is his own person. And so I receive that and accept it with its uniqueness, its unique flavor that he brings to it. So just because it isn't exactly what you had in mind, sometimes we set ourselves up for failure in relationships. Because we expect it's going to be a certain way.
Yep.
And then when you step into the moment and it's not, you're like,
Yep.
I can't believe we both did the same.
Hey, we've been around for a while. We've been around for a while.
Scary. So, look for it. Be specific to look for it because this person loves you.
Right.
So, if they know this about you, and if they don't, tell them.
And I think that's key right there also.
With this one you gotta tell people.
If people don't know, they're not mind readers. So sometimes you just gotta say it. You just gotta say, hey, listen, I like this, or can you do this, or I really appreciate and value when you do this. Like that
doesn't come like first nature to everybody. All of these don't come first nature. I mean, there has to be one that's number 5. There has to be one on the bottom of your list, which could be the one that's number 1 on the list of the person that you love.
That's right.
And it can become a source of conflict if you allow it and you don't understand it. So that's a great point.
I love it. Great point. Number three. Let's hit it.
Oh, why don't you take this one?
Number 3. I like number 3. Number 3 is receiving gifts. Like literally, people
give me the
gift to feel appreciated, and many times gifts make you feel appreciated. Now, I'll talk about the workplace first. My number 1 act of service, Latasha said.
Latasha's like, same.
So we have to understand that many times gifts aren't necessarily like buying people things. I mean, a gift in the workplace, that might be a certificate. That might be,
which also is an affirmation,
right? So
you can kill a couple of birds with one stone.
Absolutely.
And if you're recognizing a service that they did, and then they have acts of service,
boom,
like you got 3 of them right there. In
That's
one.
it. That's it. And you can hit them and speak those languages, right? But now the other side of that is like literally receiving gifts. Now, this is my number 1. I mean, I like receiving gifts. Why? I don't know, but I like. There's something awesome about receiving the little. Now I'm a play. I'm like, but I really like receiving gifts. Like I'll give you an example. So I've been talking about getting a new pair of jeans for How many weeks now?
No, you haven't been talking about it. You've been trying to hold on to the ones that are holy, and I don't mean HOLY. Y'all, my husband bent over and I was like, no, you are not.
Hey, those are special genes.
And
those
that
are
is
special.
a reflection of his wife is letting him go around.
Those
he
are
must have
special.
been folding those and not showing me because he knows them draws get holy, ladies.
She be throwing them out. She throw them out.
He's like,
those are the good ones.
those are the ones that are broke in. I'm like, no, we can't be walking around in broke in pants and broken drawers. That leads to a disaster. I don't even have to go there and tell y'all potentially what could happen. And I can't let him go out like that. That would not be a good reflection.
Well, hold on. So you telling all my business. You telling all my business. So look.
Well, you had enough sense not to wear the holy drawers with the holy pants. That would be too holy.
That's a combo that I did not want to happen.
Saved,
right?
sanctified, set aside, smothered and covered with some holy oil, sprinkled with holy water.
Well, anyways, what she
crucifixion.
did for me for Valentine's Day, right? As a gift to me, she bought me a new pair of jeans, and I was like super excited. But not only did she buy me a new pair of jeans, she thought about the types of jeans.
Can I get a clap?
Yeah, she thought specifically. I'm gonna give you a high five too. She thought about the kind of jeans that I would wear. For example,
that
she
I'm not
knows
skinny man.
Yeah, she knows I'm not gonna wear the skinty jeans because they
super skinty.
They hug you and stuff, and you can't walk in those things properly. So I am not built for skinty jeans. Those are for men who are a little bit more
My man is big boned,
skinty.
y'all.
Yes, I am.
I keep him healthy.
I'm big. Healthy is a good word, right? Big boned, healthy. Yeah, I'm all of those things. But
so I got you the athletic version.
she got me the athletic, and here's the cool thing.
Searched the styles and
you like did the research, and they're like these athletic type pants that. They're a little tighter in the ankles and they fit, but I can still walk and breathe and all of those good things. So I was like, today when I put them on, y'all should have seen me this morning. I was walking in the hallway in a big mirror, like, and work, because they felt really, really good.
Yeah, because he was like, one day he saw a guy kind of shaped like him, and he's like, I don't know how they be getting these skinny jeans.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
How they do that? They don't work like that on me, and I was determined. But knowing that he loves gifts, and one of the things, and because number 2 is for me is words of affirmation. I do notes, so I give him like the gift of an affirming word.
Yeah.
I even did that for Valentine's Day for everybody. So I just blank cards and literally found a quote or a saying or a scripture for each one of my children, and I just wrote them all something personal. And so that was me kind of serving them with affirmative words and kind of giving a gift at the same time. So I'll just leave little notes in his office just as a gift for him. Because, like you said, there are lots of different ways to give gifts.
Absolutely.
So if you sit in there and think, I ain't got 2 pennies to rub together, much less 2 nickels to rub together. Get creative. There are all kinds of ways that you can give a gift. Maybe it's the gift of making their favorite meal or whatever it is, because we got to eat. But just
my wife does stuff like this right here. Like can you see that right there?
Bam, bam, bam.
But it says like this. No, it says you make a difference. It's not about titles or bottom lines. It's about hearts. People's hearts have been changed because of you. So that's like a gift that she gave me, and literally I put it right on my computer. It's a little Post-it note, but I put it on my computer, and every day I come in here, I see that thing and I read it. When I look to my left, I see some other Post-it notes that she put. I see like the little things that she just put up there for Valentine's. But those gifts that they're important to me, and they speak to me, especially those days where you don't feel like doing what you do. You don't feel like grinding. You don't feel like going. You ask yourself questions. Boom, you can look at those little notes of affirmation, those gifts that you give, and boom, it pushes you on. It keeps you going.
I know when I worked at the sheriff's office, one of my responsibilities was like to look at the uniform and redo the uniform. And this was really important. There's still a lot of people that didn't like some of the parts of the uniform, but you're not going to make everybody happy all the time. And so we kind of had to want a little more casual, want a little bit more formal. And one of the things that we did is we did ribbons, kind of like they do in the military, just to recognize people. And for some people, that was really, really important. Like as soon as they earned a ribbon, man, they were coming to see me. And I had to make sure that I kept the ribbons because it was so important.
Absolutely.
And people walked different, you know? I mean, I even noticed me, like, that's not huge for me. I don't need a lot of recognition for things or gifts or whatever, but it did something for somebody when I gave them specifically that ribbon. You know, even the people that didn't necessarily want to wear the fancy uniform, the Class A, even just receiving the ribbon for those people, they really it really did something for them.
And you know, it's interesting. You know, I'm even thinking back to simple things like elementary school and the little foil stars, the gold, red, blue, and silver stars. You remember those?
Also affirming.
Yeah.
And you wanted to get one of them stars, right?
And that star didn't cost anything, but literally, I mean, if you didn't get one, oh, you were mad. You know what I mean? So you worked hard to make sure that you could get that star.
Yeah, and for some people it was the affirmation, and for others it was just like a gift,
right?
Like something that was just given.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Number 4?
Number 4.
Let's do it. Number 4.
Quality time with you.
Yeah, that's it right there. Quality time.
Yes.
Like literally.
This is a close second for me too.
Giving your undivided attention. You know, quality time is big for me also. I mean, I mentioned it earlier. Many times, like we'll just be in the car. You know what I'm saying? And just being in your presence is a gift for me. You know what I'm saying?
We're very rarely silent, though.
Yeah, we're very rarely silent, but you know, but just being in your presence, just being like my wife's been watching this show. What's the show?
Last Kingdom. It's over now.
Yeah. Well, you've been watching it for how many weeks now?
I don't know. I couldn't watch it like everybody else can binge watch, so I had to get a show in here.
It's been 3 weeks.
I think it's been longer than that.
A month, 3 weeks a month. Well, anyways, she's been watching this show, but quality time is important, right? So I know she's into her show. So there have been times where I just went into the family room and sat down. Now, I might have been on my iPad. I might have been, watching YouTube videos or what have you. But I was like, I just want to be in your presence. You know what I mean? Like that was important to me, just to sit by you. You know what I'm saying? Even if you were, because she was into this show, y'all. She was into the show. It
was good stuff.
But even if you were into the show, it didn't really matter to me that you're in the show. What mattered to me was that we were in the same room and just spending that good old time.
Yeah, and I recognize this. So one of the things that used to kind of irritate me, because I am obviously my number one is acts of service, which means I have a tendency to be more of a task-oriented person.
Right.
There's so many clues and cues, guys and gals, I'm telling you. But anyways, so he will come into like the kitchen, or I'll be in the middle of doing something. I mean, I could be down on the ground behind the toilet, like fastening, something on the toilet because it's leaking. And he'll come in there and put his hands around my waist or something like that. I'm like, dude, if you don't back up. But it's about, not only physical touch, which is one we're going to talk about next, but it's about, just being
in the presence. Yeah.
It's about him spending, a quality time with me. And humor is really important for us. So he knows I'm going to fuss at him, but he also knows that we're going to laugh. So he inevitably does it. So I just after 20 years of marriage, I've just been like, okay, he's just going to come in here and mess with me. Yeah, boy, you sound like your dad. He gonna come in here and mess at me when I'm trying to make some eggs. Like, come on, man, And then no, he wouldn't act some way if I burned them because he would want to spend the quality time. He doesn't care about the darn eggs. He just wants the time.
That's it. Quality time is important.
So I have to understanding that is his love language and that I'm task oriented. I have to put aside those things. I have to not be selfish and, put aside and spend that time. So, but we're fortunate. Our things kind of line up.
Yeah, they do kind of line up, And the one thing I will say is, understanding what these languages are does not mean that you always have to give up or put yours aside. But what it does mean is just recognizing and seeing how you can ensure that you can speak the language of the other individual. I go back to the my intro when I was talking about my grandmother. I want to make sure that I speak the language that she understands and she can receive. And it's the same thing in any kind of relationship, whether it's at home or whether it's in the workplace.
And be opening to receive and with the intent that it was given. So, I mean, I know everybody can relate. You received a gift from somebody and they were so excited to give it to you, right? They were talking about that gift because they don't like surprises. See, I like surprises. That goes with acts of kindness, random acts of kindness. Anyway, so they were so excited about that gift. They couldn't wait to give it to you. They just knew you was going to love it, blah, 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 blah. So they done talked this thing up and they're so excited and they give it to you. And you really have to just kind of fake the funk because you're like, I don't know what they were so excited about.
Yeah.
I ain't excited about this.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to grow on you. You got to, fix yourself. So always, if you should value every relationship first and foremost. But you should value the other person's intention.
That's good.
And that's so important. Like, understand the intention behind it. Even if they miss the mark and they don't love you in the right language, keep communicating.
That's good.
You ever talk to someone who doesn't speak the same language as you? In context, you can figure it out. So look for the context.
Oh, that's good.
So, and that would be the underlying intent that's wrapped inside of what was given.
Yeah,
what was delivered.
Look for those context clues.
Yes, context clues.
Because they are there, and you will be able to see them. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I love it. All right, fifth one. You already alluded to it, so we're going to go ahead and put it on up there. Physical touch is number 5.
And this
Physical
is not
touch.
number 1 for every dude. So we've done this many a time. So ladies, go ahead and get this out of your mind. It's not number 1 for every man.
Now, it might be 2 or 3, though. It might be 2 or 3.
And it's not on the bottom
for all
every
female.
woman.
That's right.
Like,
That's
I've met women who their number 1
is physical touch.
Physical touch.
Absolutely.
And I think this one, all of them have to do with the way that you were raised.
Right.
There's a big nurture component in a lot of these, like how your parents loved on you because they probably didn't know about these love languages. But this one has a lot of nurturing in it because naturally already men like, physical touch. We all need physical touch.
Yeah.
So, but I think this one has a lot to do with nurturing. I didn't necessarily come from a huggy, touchy feely. I tried to incorporate to touchy and feely.
I got you.
That sounds like an inappropriate word.
It did, but it's all good. I got you.
I kind of like it. We can try some touchy feely, some fuggy later.
My mama's watching this. My mama's watching.
It is Valentine's Day. She ain't stupid. You got here. I bet she did some fuggy. Okay,
I think I got sweat beads on my head. I got sweat beads. Help somebody. Help.
We're drowning in this, y'all. Help us. Help.
No, seriously.
We need to invite guests to keep us on track.
The amazing thing though about physical touch, and I will say this, it's not always sex. Right?
No, it's not.
And that's the thing that we definitely want to point out today. When we speak about physical touch, it's not always sex. Many times, physical touch could just be something as simple as holding hands. It could be, like for real. It could just be, in the workplace, like you got to be careful about your touching in the workplace.
So high five.
Fist
bumps.
Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? A pat on the back, those kinds of things. Yeah. Not backside.
Boys.
Back. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But those are the kinds of things that people do look to, especially who have this is one of their higher love languages.
Yes,
they need that connection and that physical touch.
Yeah, and I, because I know that that's not really my background or my nurture, it's been something I've really had to fight. It's not my natural, it's not my go-to. And so I irritate my children because it doesn't, only one of them, one of them, well, I think 2. I don't know for sure, but I think really 2. But it's not, it's not their like what they gravitate towards. So I make them, I make them hug me because they're my kids. I can do that. You cannot do that to your coworkers.
No, you
That's
can't.
called sexual harassment.
Yeah, you'll get in trouble
or
for that.
harassment, and you will lose your job.
Yes,
Okay,
don't do that.
Not appropriate. But with my kids, like we all need touch.
Yeah.
I mean, there are billions and gazillions of studies out there about how human beings need touch and how we thrive, when we're touched, when people are recovering and healing and those sorts of things. So, and it does not always mean sex.
Right.
But ladies, it usually does. No, I'm joking. If he rubs my leg, no.
You're supposed to be telling everything.
We got to get out of this one. So listen. So physical touch is important. It can be appropriate.
Yep.
It can be incorporated appropriately and into any area in which you lead. And so we bring it back to that. Listen, incorporating the 5 languages of appreciation or love, however you want to look at it, it is your responsibility as a leader, wherever you lead, to make sure that you are in tune to these things and the people that you're leading. If you want to lead healthy, engaged, productive people, even in your home, even at your workplace, it's important for you to understand these and incorporate a myriad of them until you have to try some things out,
That's right.
And you'll figure it out if you care enough. To love people the way they want to be loved.
If you care enough.
So important.
Yep.
So important. So important.
So let's run them back for them. Let's do this. Number 1.
Number 1 is about affirmation. Affirm me. Use encouraging words.
Number 2.
Acts of service.
Acts of service.
I thought you were going to do number 2. Okay, I'll say
Acts of
number 3.
Number 3, receiving gifts.
I like when I say the numbers better. Number 4.
Number 4, quality time. Quality time with you. Oh, that's one of my favorite songs right there. Yeah.
I wonder why.
And number 5 is
physical touch.
Physical touch.
So remember, these are important because only about 45% of people in your workplace, according to statistics, actually are happy. So if you're a leader, a manager, a director, even an entrepreneur, ask yourself, are you happy? You're responsible for loving on yourself as well. Yeah. Entrepreneurs, small business owners, you may be the only one, or there may just be a couple. And it may be you're leading the same people in your workplace and your home.
Yep.
So remember, only about 45% are happy. And I think these are really critical at a time. So we have experienced over the last couple of years the biggest decreases in single people getting married. And just at the peak of pandemic, more divorce decrees were signed.
Wow.
So there is a decrease in divorce rates right now in America, and that's something to applaud.
That's good, yeah.
That's really good. I think we kind of been forced to get along with each other. We've been wearing that that get along shirt. During the pandemic. But remember, like, these things can really be eye-opening for you, and they can change some things in your home and your workplace.
So I'm gonna say this. This is all that we got for you today. I'm believing it was good stuff. We dropped
good.
5. Good. It was good.
Good.
Yeah. Definitely. So we gave you today 5 different love languages or affirmations that you can actually work with in your family and inside of your workplace. And we're going to be back here next week, babe.
Absolutely.
Back here next week, 8 o'clock, same time, same channel. You know what it is, man. It's the Edge Life. We'll holler at y'all next time.
Peace.
Edge Life, you're too close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that Edge Life. Oh, gotta get it in your head, baby. Welcome to the Edge Life. You're too close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that Edge Life. Oh.